Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? This is your coach Renz, and today what I want to talk to you about is the fact that you have to start overreaching in your life. If you don't overreach in your life, then your life will start to die. Matter of fact, there is no standstill in life. Life is either growing or dying. And when I say you have to overreach, I mean you got to reach up for the stars. You got to reach up for the sun. If you ever watch grass throughout the day, especially if you play golf, then you'll see that the grass moves with the sun because it's reaching up for that life-giving energy that it needs, that it looks for, that it needs to grow. You have things that you got to reach up for if you want to grow and have life. Many of you are saying that you want to speak life into your situation. You want to speak life into yourself, life into your marriage, life into your children. But if you don't provide mechanisms for those things to grow, if you're not focusing on overachieving so that and reaching beyond the norm so that you can grow those things, then guess what? Growth doesn't happen, death happens. Anytime we're not growing, we're dying. And there's a wisdom that says that in order to achieve greatness, you must overreach. That nothing in civilization or in man has ever occurred by not overreaching. It is those who overreach that changes the world. And if you want to change your world, the world in your life, the world in your finances, the world in your relationship, the world in any aspect of life that you are involved in, then you have to begin to overreach in those areas. And if you're already reaching, you got to reach higher. You know, the grass and the flowers never stop reaching for the sun. Day after day, they reach. So there must be a consistency within your reaching as well. Every day they reach up and they follow the sun. They follow the life-giving energy. Every day you got to follow the life-giving energy for whatever the aspect that you're trying to achieve. Earlier today, I was in the gym and I was watching this gentleman who I've seen there for the last few weeks. I've overheard him specify that his goals were to add 10 pounds of muscle over the next 12 months. So because he said that, I've been paying attention to him, watching what he does. As a former active personal trainer, that's what I do. I notice people when they're doing things that I previously had an interest in or currently have an interest in. But what I notice is that he never reaches, he never strains himself, he never add weight that is more difficult for him to be able to handle. If he was able to push this weight for 10 times last week, he's pushing the same weight 10 times this week. He will not gain 10 pounds of muscle that way because the body doesn't function that way. In order to add muscle, you have to lift weights. You have to have more resistance than your current muscles can handle. And then, as your muscles develop and says that, okay, we know that he or she is going to push 50 pounds in this exercise. Let's develop enough muscle to do that so you gain some muscle. But then once your body is able to do it, it will stop adding more muscle because now it can achieve that thing. So then you have to add more. You have to increase so that you can then add more muscle so your body responds again. The same thing happens in life. If you're in a relationship with someone and you guys are having fun, in order for you to continue to develop and grow in that fun, you have to add more things, be more consistent so that your fun can then increase. If you want more love, you got to be more loving and do more things so that the love can increase. If you want peace, then the peace has to be increased by adding more peaceful things within your life. All things that you want to grow in your life, you have to add more and consistently keep adding, because the moment you stop adding, death sets in. The moment you stop, those aspects of your life will start to die. When you let more argument in, or boring complacency in the non-affection in, busyness in. When you start letting these things that countermand what you truly say and desire that you want to have in your life and your relationships, then those things will start to kill it. And just like I told you guys before in another video, that if you want to change something about yourself, you got to kill yourself every day. That aspect of you must die every day. So in your relationships, you have to tell that boring part, boredom must die every day. Non-affection, no intimacy must die every day. Separation must die every day. Disturbance, anger, frustration must die every day. Those things have to die every day. You have to kill it. It's a constant renewing of your mind, constant renewing of your body, constant renewing of your spirit, constant renewing of your emotions. It's the constant renewing of all aspects of who you are every day. so that death has no way of creeping in and stopping you from growing and stopping you from having the joy that you believe and you deserve to have. But the moment you stop, the moment you give in to those things that are destructive, to those dark energies, then that is when you will see the death of whatever it is that you have in your life. It could be your business, it could be your health, it could be your relationships, it could be your children, it could be anything in life can die if you don't constantly give it life. And you have to constantly overreach in order to give it life. Do you understand? So like I said, that wisdom says that nothing advances in life without overreaching. All advancement comes by overreaching. You want to grow your spirituality? How can you grow it if you're constantly and consistently listening and reading the same information? Now, I understand. Some of you are just now saying that, yeah, but when I listen, I read, I get something new every time. And then the Holy Spirit comes and it tells me this, that, and the third. I get it. But if that information, if the Holy Spirit is coming to you and it's telling you something, and it's going in here or it's going in here, but you're not acting on it, then that is dead speak. That speech is dead because you're not acting on it so that it can have its increase. And if it doesn't have its increase, then there will be no reaping, there will be no harvest, there will be no abundance, there will be no life-changing aspects. This is one of the reasons why you can see people sitting in the same church, mosque, synagogue, ashram for all their lives. And guess what? Nothing changes. Nothing changes in their life. Because why? Because they haven't done anything to allow for that change to occur. It doesn't matter if the lesson has come, but their actions, remember I told you cause and effect, their actions have not been the cause for the new effect. Your actions has to be the cause of your new effect. So if you hear that spirit telling you something, you hear that spirit telling you to go to that seminar, you hear that spirit telling you to change where you live. You hear that spirit telling you to go to that class. You hear that spirit telling you that you need to be around these people. You hear that spirit telling you, but you're not listening and you're not acting. Then that spirit is going to stop talking after a while because it recognizes that it can't speak life into a dead vessel. Or as they would say in Buddha and the Tao, you cannot pour more into a full cup. A cup must be emptied daily in order for it to be refilled daily. Otherwise, you cannot do it. Or let me put it this way, you cannot pour new wine into old wine cloths. So let that set in. You want to grow, you want to have a better life, you want to have a better relationship, you want to have a better health, you want to have better anything, then you got to reach beyond what you're accustomed to. You got to reach beyond you. You got to disturb your peace, and you got to disturb your inside, and you got to go beyond your norm. You got to increase your circle. So y'all have a great day. My greatness is non-negotiable, and so is yours, and I look forward to seeing you August 27th.